أعزائي المشاهدين، أهلا وسهلا بكم بحلقة جديدة من برنامج موفرز اند شيكرز. كالمعتاد بين فترة وأخرى عندنا ضيف ويانا يكون نقدم لقاءات وياهم من أجل تعريف الجالية العراقية والعربية الموجودة في الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية، وخاصة في ولاية ميشيغان الأمريكية، عن النظام السياسي الأمريكي، عن النظام الانتخابي الأمريكي، أو بعض الأحيان عن رجال الأعمال الموجودين في ولاية ميشيغان الأمريكية. ضيوفنا دائما يكونون يعني مختلطة ما بين العرب وما بين الأمريكان، فإحنا دائما نحاول أن نعرف الجالية العربية والكلدانية المتواجدين في ولاية ميشيغان الأمريكية عن ضيوفنا، عن السياسة الأمريكية، عن ما يدور في المدن التي يقطن بها العرب والكلدان. فعندنا اليوم ويانا أحد الأخوان اللي مرشح نفسه لقاضي أو حاكم في مدينة ستيرلينغ هايتس ويوتيكا أو شيلبي وماكوم تاونشيب. هذه المدن يقطنها عدد كبير جدا من أبناء الجالية العراقية الكلدانية والعربية، فردنا نعرف هذا الشخص المرشح عن هذه المنطقة، عن من هو هذا الشخص ولماذا رشح نفسه، وراح يعطينا بعض المعلومات عن نفسه، وحتى المشاهدين يقررون وقت الانتخابات انه راح يختارون هذا الشخص او يختارون شخص اخر. فاحنا ناس حياديين، MEA TV تلفزيون حيادي، نترك للمشاهدين ان هم يقررون من يختارون. احنا ما نشجع او ما نكسر باحد، لانه احنا كاعلاميين كواجهه اعلاميه فقط نقدم هذول الاشخاص من اجل تعريفهم الى الجاليه الكلدانيه والعربيه في ولايه ميشيغان الامريكيه. Pat, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's truly my pleasure.
Thank you very much, Pat. I know you since you were very young.
Yes, sir.
At the same time, you're my son's age, and you came very well, very long, and you're doing a great job. And you became an attorney years ago. I'm going to leave that for you to explain. So we are here today. I just said it in Arabic. Our media outlet is we are independent. We don't take a side. We don't decide. We don't encourage. We don't discourage anyone to vote or against or with. We are only presenting you and others so that people understand what's going on, and then they have the right to choose. You choose you or somebody else. It's up to you. You know, we like our communities, the Middle Eastern community, the Chaldean community. They understand when they go into voting why they are voting for Pat, why they're voting for others. So today we are interviewing you for two reasons. One, to give a knowledge for our community who's Pat Sierawski. Number two, we want our community when they go to vote, they have a little bit of information about Patrick. So welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Pat, give us a little bit, information about yourself personally.
Of course. So I have been a Macomb County prosecutor, so an assistant Macomb County prosecutor for the last 8 years now. And so in that time frame, I have handled thousands and thousands and thousands of cases, all the way from your traffic tickets all the way up to the very, very serious cases. I've handled everything across the board. And most specifically in the last 3 years, I have been chief of the Internet Crimes and Human Trafficking Units. And so that has been by far the most challenging 3 years of my career. For what I can, if people use their imagination, they would probably be pretty close to right of what I was dealing with on every single day. But at the same time, it was by far the most rewarding 3 years that I've had in my career so far, because I'm able to do some very, very good work for the community. And the word that I use, I don't have another word for it, is I'm dealing with some evil people. And those are the people that I've had the ability to keep away from our community. So it's been something that's been very rewarding.
Great. So to become a prosecutor, you have to graduate from law school first, right?
That is correct.
You have to pass the bar exam. Then you work you practice as an attorney.
Correct.
Then you get appointed as a prosecutor, assistant prosecutor.
So you get you can be hired in just like you would at a private firm, for example. If there's obviously openings, people apply and you get hired in. I was fortunate that coming out of law school, I had an opportunity that they had an opening, and I was able to apply right out of law school. So from the beginning, this has been what I've been doing.
Great. So how many assistant prosecutors in Macomb County?
There's roughly 70.
70.
Yes, sir.
All they work under the prosecutor Lucidos.
That is correct.
And they divide you in different cities. They send you to different cities.
All different cities, all different subject matters, all different types of cases, all different levels of the courts, which I've practiced in every single one of them. But yes, the 70 prosecutors are stationed about in different places.
Did you have a choice to pick what kind of law you're gonna practice? For example, you just said human trafficking and stuff. Did you have a choice to pick, or they appointed you to that law?
So for the most part, you're assigned a position, and where you're told to go is that's where you go. When I took over with the human trafficking position, they came to me and asked me if it was something that I would be interested in, especially due to the subject matter. It's not the easiest work to do. But when they came to me, I, without hesitation, said, absolutely 100%. Prior to me taking over to that position, I spent 2 years in our juvenile unit as the deputy chief there. One of the main focuses in that unit was we worked with the Department of Health and Human Services dealing with cases of neglectful and abusive parents, and either helping them with giving them classes or whatnot to become better parents, or in unfortunately very bad cases, moving to terminate those rights. So for those 2 years, which was a very emotional 2 years, you could imagine dealing with people's kids and their families, I really developed what I'll call a soft spot or a goal of protecting the children of Macomb County, because that's what I was doing. So when the opportunity presented itself to then move up to the human trafficking unit and run the human trafficking unit, it was a no-brainer. It was just a natural progression in my mind that I've spent the last 2 years now protecting the children of Macomb County in this way, and now I can do it in an even better way. So
with my years communicated with other judges, they said the family law is the worst one, not the worst one, the hardest one, because they involve a family, involve children, parents. Sometimes the parents, they are the evil one. Sometimes because of bad relationship between father and mother, the children is the victim. They become a victim, and sometimes they take the children from the family because of neglection or because of something. It's heartbreaking, especially for you as a young man, and you came from a family with the brothers and sisters in your family. You have a great family, and when you see that, it's not easy. At the beginning, it's very hard to see. You make a decision if that's gonna affect that family. It's not easy to make that decision.
The way I described it to people is I went into work every single day when I was doing that, and it was a lose-lose situation. Because if I win the case, that means I'm taking mom and dad away from that child. And if I lose the case, then that means, unfortunately, we're leaving the child with some parents that may be unfit. Try explaining that to an 8-year-old kid that the best thing for them is to not have mom and dad anymore. They don't understand it, because all they've ever known, they can't comprehend that mom and dad is actually bad for them, because that's mom and dad. We all grew up with mom and dad. Mom and dad were the people you turn to first, and even in these situations, it's the same. That's what these kids do. So you hit the nail on the head saying that it was heartbreaking work, but it was also, you were doing what was best for the kids, but it's never easy watching a kid not be able to see mom and dad every day. So
yeah. The second subject you expert with and you deal with is human trafficking.
Yes, sir.
Human trafficking is a very big issue in U.S. and other countries in the world. If you tell our viewers what's a human trafficking, why Michigan or Detroit is an important city for human trafficking, just explain to them what is a human trafficking and why Detroit.
So human trafficking, that term is used very broadly, right? When we say that term, most people think of, for whatever reason, they think of the movie Taken, that someone is quite literally taken from their home or from some place, brought overseas or brought somewhere else and forced to do really unspeakable things. That is 100% human trafficking, and that unfortunately 100% happens. But there's also other different kinds of human trafficking where people are forced to do labor that they might not otherwise want to. Whether that be in a sexual manner or not. It can be all kinds of different people that are just being exploited, really, is a good way that I like to describe it. And the reason why Detroit is such a hub of it is just because of our proximity to Canada. I mean, I'm sure many people and many of the viewers watching here in their younger days probably spent some time going over the border when they were younger, or people just in general. I know lots of Middle Eastern people live in Canada or have family in Canada. So everyone, I think, in this area is familiar with, I don't want to say the ease, but somewhat the ease that you're able to go to a different country. We kind of take that for granted a little bit. But the traffickers don't. They know and they understand. So that's why this area in Detroit is such a hub for that, just because of the proximity to the border.
And the people who use as human trafficking, they use people not only to cross or sex and stuff, there's other things they do. For example, if somebody came in illegal to America or Canada, they use that person to their advantage. They take their passport, they take everything, and they put them through a long labor day with the unfit places to live and no wages. Sometimes they give them very little money, or they make them do things they don't want to do it. So human trafficking is a lot of people get affected. Or sometimes they kidnap people. They take them when they're young. They bring them in, they make them work all day, all night, you know, and these people, if they try to leave, either they don't have any documents, they cannot go anywhere, or they're gonna be deported, or they cannot hide somewhere they don't know somebody in town to harbor them or to keep them at their houses. So human trafficking is a huge issue. And especially, as you said, Detroit, because we are, you know, on the border of Canada, and we have a lot of events, sport events, especially the sport events. And you know, we have sometimes, you know, the singer theaters, and we have a lot of people coming from other cities, other states. So we, at that time, when for NFL or you know, the motor cars and you know, speedway, and this time of the year, when we have this kind of event, there's a lot of people. They come from out of town, and that's when human trafficking increased.
Any time that, I mean, think about it this way. There's always going to be more people than there are law enforcement, right?
Yeah.
Anytime that there's an event that there creates more people, it creates a difficulty for law enforcement or police officers or people that are looking for these types of things. It makes it more difficult because there's more people to watch. So you're exactly right. The reason that those types of events or those types of things are exploited for this reason is exactly that it's just easier to hide. And that's the word that I like to use, because these people, they're cowards, is what they are. There's a reason they are going after these people, like we talked about. In the most extreme cases, going after children, or like the cases we were just talking about, because like you said, this happens to adults as well. And a person in a situation like you just said, that they don't have anyone else. They don't have a place to go. So when they get them and they do exactly what you said. They take all their documents, their ID, passport, you know, if they have Social Security, they take everything so that these people are dependent on them. And then they're able to exploit them exactly like you said. And so the people that do this, that's the word that I use, is that they're cowardly, because they're going after people that they can take advantage of.
So people listen to us or watching us right now, and they notice some kind of illegal activities in a massage parlor or homes or something, who they should report it to?
Call your local police. That's the first line of defense right there. Because the local police, you do not call the prosecutor's office, because as much as I would like to talk to you, my role and my job in the legal system is different than the police officers. Their job is to investigate crimes. My job is, once they've done that investigation, then to take what they've done and move it into the court of law and proceed accordingly. So, and I've explained this as nicely as I can to a lot of people, because people do call me all the time. Hey, I see this is happening. The first thing I say, call your local police department.
And the police department, they process the paper. Then after that, they come in front of you, or you
That is
deal
correct.
with them. Then they go to judges, whatever judge does.
Correct.
Okay, now we came to the real issue of Patrick Sierawski. Patrick Sierawski running for a judge
That is
right
correct.
now after a good experience with the law enforcement, with the prosecutor, with the graduate from college. Now is the time you're looking for another adventure. We call it a
It's quite the adventure. That's
adventure.
for sure.
So you are running for a judge in what area?
So I'm running for 41A District Court Judge, so that encompasses Sterling Heights, Utica, Shelby Township, and Macomb Township.
Yes. So this 4 cities, and this cities, the 4 cities you mentioned, all of them we have a huge Chaldean and Middle Eastern live in these cities. So in the middle of the mercy of our community. So we want you. I know you're a fair person. I know your dad is a judge, and he's a very fair person in Sterling Heights. Why are you running for a judge?
People ask me that question all the time, and what people assume the answer is going to be is because, like you mentioned, my father's a judge, he's been a judge a very long time, and they go, well, you must be following Dad's footsteps. Now that's part of it, because, just being honest, of course that's part of it. The biggest reason for me that I want to be a judge is my family, part of our mantra, our virtues, is service to one's community. Giving back to one's community. That's why I do what I do now. I could go off and work at a private law firm, make way more money, probably do way less work, and have a way easier life. But I choose to do what I do now because it's important to me to give back and to serve and protect one's community. And so for the last 8 years, I've done it as a Macomb County prosecutor. Now, going into this adventure that we're going down, which God willing, obviously will work out come November, is I look at this, a lot of people run for judge because they want to be judge. They want to have the title, right? They want to be able to say, look at me. I have no interest in that. This, in my mind, is I like to think of myself as a very self-aware person and someone who knows themselves very well. I truly believe that this is what I'm meant to do, that the best way for me to continue to serve my community, our community, is in this role, and that I am truly the best person that could possibly be imagined for this position.
With your experience and your background, and you have excellent experience, so that will fit you this job. How many people running for this position?
It is just me and one other person, and so we will not be having a primary.
So in August you don't have a primary.
Correct.
People they're gonna vote only in November 5th.
Correct.
At the election day, but they can vote, absentees before that.
Of course.
So, because you don't have that primary, and we have 5 more months left, and you are knocking in every door.
Yes, sir.
So people watching us, there's thousands of people watching this show. They say we wanna meet with Patrick. We wanna donate for Patrick. We wanna put a sign for Patrick, or we wanna help him. How they can help you?
The easiest way to get a hold of me and to know where I'm going to be, what events are going on, is to go straight to my website, which is Sierawskiforjudge.com, and all of that you just described is going to be on there. There's all of everything that we've talked about today, plus plenty more information about me is all on there. If people are very generously looking to donate, it can be done on there. And then obviously all the events that I'm going to be at are going to be on there. And then the best part about it, if people have questions, they can email me directly through the website. And I try to respond in a very timely manner because I think it's important.
You mentioned something about the judge. Some people, they want to be a judge for title. But my understanding, with my relationship with a lot of judges in Macomb County and Oakland County, sometimes I see them, I meet with them, they're very very frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
Very frustrated, very, stressed. When we talk about it, they said, they cannot talk about the case, certain cases, And they said, you know, we are human beings before we are judges. So we have families, we have kids, we have brothers and sisters. Sometimes we see things, you know, and we try to do our best.
Right.
Not all the time we are succeeding.
No.
We don't succeed all the time, because sometimes, you know, circumstances and evidence and stuff, you know, bring it. So hopefully God help you. You
I
be
hope
the
so.
right judge to, you know, to judge the people, not in their color, not in their religion, not in their background. You judge them according to their cases.
No.
And hopefully you'll do the right job for these people. And if somebody is guilty, he'll be punished. Somebody is innocent, would be free.
100%, and that's you're 100% correct there. And like you're saying, like one of the reasons that I'm, I guess, qualified, I guess is the best way to say it, is not only my experience, but like you just said, who I am as a person. And that's something that I try not to forget in my work that I do every day now, and that's something that I've drilled into my head that I, like we said, God willing, this works out this year, to not forget is not only am I a person, but the person, everyone that's out there is a person as well. And they deserve to be treated with respect the same way any other person does. And that's everybody that walks into the courtroom. And like you said, the word that you used is perfect, is to be fair. There's a reason that the scales of justice are scales, right? If you give too much deference to one side, the scales are out of balance and it's not working. So it's about keeping, that's the judge's job, is to be fair, is to be impartial, and as much as we are going to take that we're people into this, like you just said, to just judge what's in front of you by the facts of the case and to not do it by anything else.
I want to mention something have nothing to do with the subject, but about a month and a half ago was an event in Sterling Heights. I saw you there.
Yes, sir.
In that event, and your opponent was there too.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed you and him, you're just like a friend. You talk to each other, have excellent relationship. Your parents, his parents and your parents, they were talking to each other. Normally, when there's an election and politician, they don't like each other.
Usually not so much.
Yeah, that's normal. I saw you, that's an excellent sign of great relationship we have in the state of Michigan, and especially in the state of, you know, in Macomb County. We have the people like you and your opponent, both of you are understanding, and you know, you are running for a job, you have an opportunity, just like you have an opportunity, you get an opportunity to become a judge, and whoever me and other voters decided to pick, you know, and, you know, as subject to your qualification. So hopefully I wish you good luck for that. And that was very nice. You know, I respect you both. I respect you both for having a good relationship with your opponent. You know, he left the job on the side. He left the, you know, the competition, but you are a human being and friends. That's a great thing.
There's so much negativity in this world that I don't need to explain to you or the viewers or anybody. Everyone's very aware of that. I try to remove that as best I can from any situation that you can, because like you said, we're all people. Our lives are all so stressful. There's no need to create stress or create animosity that isn't necessary. So that's just, like you said, that's just how I was raised. The person that I am is you respect everyone and you try to be as friendly as you can with everybody.
Sure. But before we end the show, I'm going to leave you with our community, to talk to the community. Whatever in your mind, whatever you want to say, and as long as you don't cuss nobody. I'm just joking.
I will do my best.
I'm just joking. So feel free, please, to talk to the community, how they can help you, you know, what they can do for you for your election, to win the election. So you are free to talk.
Thank you so much. So again, thank you so much, sir, for having me. When I say this, it's truly an honor and a privilege to be here and to speak to your audience. I was raised in Sterling Heights, and so growing up there, the Middle Eastern and the Chaldean community, they were not part of my community, they were my community. And I never thought of it as anything different. So when I say these things of, you know, these are my wants or goals to serve and protect our community, those are the people that I'm thinking of. I grew up with these same people. So I consider everyone from the Chaldean and the Middle Eastern community, like I said, part of my own, because that's how I grew up. And so if I can say one thing to the community, that's what I want them to know is, please, 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 reach out to me on my website, come find me. If you see me out at some place, please come say hello, because I would want to say hello to you, because you are members of my community. So please, please, reach out, go to my website, please do the research, and like I said, if you have any questions, please email me through my website. It's been my absolute honor for the last 8 years to serve all of you as a prosecutor, and I can only hope to continue that service for, God willing, as long as I can as your next district court judge.
And if you cannot reach him through his website, just call Nick Najjar at 586-206-9000, and I will connect you to Mr. Sierawski. مرة أخرى, thank you very much, by the way.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time, and I wish you good luck.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Hopefully we'll get you again here before the election one more time.
I look forward
before
to it.
the election, we'll talk about what's new, where you're standing at that time. Hopefully in October or November, before November, we'll get you again here. We'll sit and talk to you, chit-chat with you. That's what we did today. أعزائي المشاهدين, كنا مع المرشح لمنصب القاضي لمناطق ستيرلينغ هايتس، يوتيكا، شيلبي، ماكوم تاونشيب، اللي يقطنها عدد كبير من أبناء الجالية الكلدانية والعربية في هذه المنطقة. حاليا هو مدعي عام لمقاطعة ماكوم كاوني، ومحامي بنفس الوقت. فإن شاء الله أنتم تقررون. راح نجيب الشخص الثاني اللي هو ضده، راح نقدمه أيضا هنا بالتلفزيون، ونسوي لقاء وياه، وأنتم تقررون أنه أي شخص منهم هو أفضل لكم. شكرا جزيلا لمتابعتكم لهذا البرنامج. معكم معد ومقدم البرنامج نيك نجار، وشكر خاص إلى MEA TV لاستضافتنا اليوم في هذه الحلقة مع السيد باتريك سيراوسكي المرشح لقاضي ماكوم كاوني. شكرا جزيلا.